Right now in your fridge, there's probably a container of last night's dinner just waiting to be microwaved. It feels harmless, right? Cook once, eat twice. That's the golden rule of a busy life. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Some of the most common foods you reheat every single week aren't just less tasty the second time around. They can quietly turn toxic. Not because reheating itself is dangerous, but because of what happens between the first cook and the second bite. Bacteria multiplying in the danger zone, proteins breaking down into harmful byproducts, and nitrates flipping into compounds your body was never built to handle. Today, we're breaking down 4 foods that health experts warn you should almost never reheat the way you're doing it, and exactly what's happening inside your body when you do. Stick around till the end, because the 4th one surprises almost everyone. Let's start with the most notorious one, rice. Here's what people get wrong. They cook a big pot, leave it sitting on the counter to cool for hours, then stuff it in the fridge and reheat it days later. The problem isn't the reheating itself, it's the cooling. Raw rice can carry spores of a bacteria called Bacillus cereus. Cooking kills the active bacteria, but those spores can survive. If rice sits at room temperature for too long, those spores wake up and multiply, releasing toxins that aren't destroyed even by high heat. So you can reheat that rice until it's steaming hot, and you'll still get hit with vomiting and diarrhea within hours. This is sometimes even called fried rice syndrome. The fix is simple. Cool rice within 1 hour of cooking, refrigerate it in a shallow container, and eat leftovers within 24 hours. Reheat it until it's piping hot all the way through. But remember, heat won't undo bacterial toxins that have already formed. Next up, something you'd never suspect, potatoes. Baked or boiled potatoes wrapped tightly in foil and left out at room temperature create the perfect storm for a different, much scarier bacterium, Clostridium botulinum. This bacterium thrives in low-oxygen, low-acid environments, exactly what you get when a potato is sealed in foil. It produces botulinum toxin, one of the most potent neurotoxins known, which can cause botulism, a rare but life-threatening illness that affects your nervous system. The danger isn't in the reheating, it's in how the potato was stored beforehand. If a cooked potato sat wrapped in foil at room temperature for more than 2 hours, no amount of reheating makes it safe again, because botulinum toxin can be heat-resistant, depending on conditions. The fix? Never leave foil-wrapped potatoes sitting out. Refrigerate them unwrapped or loosely covered within 2 hours, and consume leftovers within 3 to 4 days. Now let's talk about eggs, a breakfast staple that behaves very differently once it's been sitting around. Here's what people usually get wrong. They scramble a big batch, reheat it in the microwave on high, sometimes more than once. Eggs are extremely protein-dense, and when you blast them with high heat repeatedly, that protein structure breaks down and can produce compounds that irritate your digestive system. It's not usually about deadly toxins here. It's about denatured proteins turning rubbery, losing nutritional value, and in some cases fostering bacterial growth if the eggs weren't cooled and stored properly in the first place. Reheated eggs left in the danger zone between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, or roughly 4 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius, for too long can also become a breeding ground for salmonella if there was any contamination to begin with. The fix? Store cooked eggs in the fridge within 2 hours. Reheat gently on low heat or in short bursts rather than blasting them. And try to eat egg dishes fresh whenever you can. They genuinely don't reheat well nutritionally or texturally. And now, the one that surprises almost everyone, spinach and other leafy greens, especially when reheated alongside chicken. Spinach is naturally high in nitrates, a compound that's totally fine when fresh, but when cooked spinach sits out and is then reheated, especially more than once, those nitrates can convert into nitrites, and under certain conditions, nitrites can form nitrosamines, compounds linked to increased cancer risk with long-term repeated exposure. This is why nutritionists often say, cook spinach fresh, and if you must reheat it, only do so once and eat it soon after cooking.
Pairing this with reheated chicken adds another layer of risk. Chicken is one of the most common sources of foodborne illness when reheating goes wrong. Because it's dense and often reheated unevenly, hot on the outside, still cold in the middle, any bacteria like Salmonella or Campylobacter that survived the first cook can multiply and survive the second incomplete reheat. The fix? Reheat chicken to an internal temperature of at least 74 degrees Celsius or 165 degrees Fahrenheit, checked with a thermometer, not just by eyeballing it. And when it comes to spinach, treat reheat once and eat it now as your rule, not reheat it whenever. So here's the big takeaway. Reheating food isn't inherently dangerous, but how you cool it, store it, and reheat it absolutely is. Rice needs to be cooled fast and eaten within a day. Potatoes should never sit wrapped in foil at room temperature. Eggs should be stored quickly and reheated gently, and spinach, especially with chicken, should ideally be eaten fresh, reheated only once, and always brought to a safe internal temperature. None of this means you need to fear your fridge. It means you need to respect the science behind food safety. A few small habit changes can protect you and your family from illnesses that are completely preventable. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know, do yourself a favor and share it with the person in your life who reheats leftovers 3 days in a row. You might just save them a rough night. And if you want more science-backed health content that actually explains the why behind the advice, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll catch you next time.